Welcome to the Nerds of Comedy. We are here on the comfy couch at the Push Comedy Theater. We are joined once again by my illustrious host, Brad McMurran.
Hello, I'm Hillary Stallings.
Oh, you're a little bitter that she's been filling in for you.
She told me she likes when I sleep in and miss these things because she thinks she's better at it.
She is.
I don't,
She is.
we'll find out today. This may be my last show.
We'll see.
But I'm sort of up for a test today.
You know
It's an
what?
audition.
You're going to be like Tinkerbell. It's going to be up to the audience to save you. Tinkerbell McMurran is what your new nickname is going to be.
All right. So anyway, I am Tinkerbell Stallings.
We are joined today with a twofer. We have Brant, Brant and Noëlle. This is the first ever two-time guest or double guest.
Yes.
Not two-timing, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to go there. But welcome. We're going to talk about Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
And two-timing, apparently.
Two-timing. How are you guys doing?
Great. Good.
So, real quick, why did you guys want to do Ferris Bueller together?
Because we're both huge fans of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it would be a disservice for one to talk about it without the other.
Yeah.
The yin to the yang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ferris Bueller, a classic movie.
I'm a big fan.
Before we begin, tell the audience, what is Ferris Bueller about?
It's about a very popular high schooler who has one absent day left in his senior year. So it's a beautiful day in Chicago and he wants a day off.
How could I possibly be expected to handle school on a day like this?
Takes a day of adventure with his best friend and his girlfriend. Yeah.
Yes, while being pursued by the high school principal.
Right.
Yeah.
Who has kind of a day off in his own right. But in a different way. Yeah.
Written, directed by John Hughes. I think it came out in 1985 and really is kind of a classic kind of, it's a teen comedy movie, but it doesn't fall into your normal genre of teen comedy movies. I don't think it's not a Pretty in Pink or Breakfast Club or 16 Candles. It's kind of like a movie onto its own.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I remember as a kid we emulated it, especially when he had the keyboard that made the bad noises and stuff.
Oh, yeah. The sick noises.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Ferris. How's your bod? Oh my God, you're dying?
Uh-oh.
It's a little bit ahead of his time too for the technology because he hacks the school computer in order to change his absences.
He
Yeah,
does.
which is like
nine times.
Right.
Yeah. It has a little War Games feel to it.
War Games.
Doesn't he?
Matthew Broderick was in that too, yeah.
Yeah, doesn't he? He changes his girlfriend's grades in War Games.
Yes,
I
he does.
think.
Yeah.
This one, he removes some absences. I was thinking about that. So it's set in 1985. A lot of the stuff that he gets away with, you couldn't do today because it all has to do with phones and answering machines and stuff like that. So nowadays, everybody has cell phones. So like when he's calling in sick, even like the phone system at the schools, they can tell the number you're calling from. He calls in on one number and he has his friend call in on the other number, portraying his girlfriend's dad.
Right.
And then he's got like this elaborate system of answering machines set up depending on what number they call. One is the house number, one is his girlfriend's house, one is like the funeral home because
It's kind of like, I know that you're a big fan of Sherlock, the way they kind of updated it. It made it where Sherlock had technology with cell phones and stuff.
Yeah.
Here's the problem I have. I think Ferris Bueller's son would adapt.
Oh yeah.
oh, that would be an awesome.
I think he would adapt today. He's too clever.
An awesome idea for a sequel. Ferris Bueller's son. To see how he gets away with that.
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick is great in
He's
this
on
movie.
his game, isn't he, in that one?
Yeah.
And it's a really tough part to play because he could easily kind of come across as an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, he's a big liar, which I always respect
Yeah.
about him.
Yeah, and he's cocky.
But there's a charming quality, charisma too that I think Matthew Broderick brings to it that makes it more likable.
Well,
Very likable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's the
And
most popular kid in the whole school.
Well, and I love the way that the secretary describes that. He's a a righteous dude.
Righteous dude.
Oh, well, he's very popular, Ed. The sportos, the motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads.
They all adore him.
I love when she's looking for the pen.
Yeah.
The pencil.
Keep on pulling
Yeah.
pencils.
She's one of my favorite roles in that. She's like, my God, you sounded like Dirty Harry right now.
I don't trust this kid any further than I can throw him.
Well, with your bad knee, Ed, you shouldn't throw anybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
Grace.
It is a really kind of fine line because Ryan Reynolds, say, like in Van Wilder, is similar, but there's a snarkiness to Ryan Reynolds that you don't get with Ferris Bueller. So I think you empathize and care about his plight, even though, I mean,
He's got more of an Eddie Haskell feel to him in certain ways.
He does.
The way he talks to his parents and stuff.
Right.
And by the way, the dad is pure dumb genius in this. I mean, he is just the ultimate dummy in a lot of ways.
I think I ought to lie down.
Take a hot bath and then wrap a hot towel around your head.
Wrap a hot towel around my head.
And then make yourself some soup.
One of the
Great.
bits of trivia is that his parents, the actors who play his parents, they met on this movie and they got married in real life.
Shut
Oh,
up.
that's right, yeah.
That's
For real?
adorable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
so cute.
awesome. Yeah. No, I like that. And then you also have the sister. What's her name?
Jennifer Grey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dirty Dancing girl, right? She she's so better.
Yeah.
I mean, she's so great, and I know, like we talked about, the principal in this is fantastic. We were discussing off air that his personal life we're not going to touch, so I went ahead and touched it. I don't want to get into that. We're only talking about performance. That was hilarious.
He's perfectly cast.
Oh,
He
God,
really
yeah.
is. Yeah, I don't know about him as a man, but as a performer, it was incredible.
Well, and if you think about it, his character, looking at the movie from a certain point of view, he's kind of the hero of this movie. Because all he's doing is his job. He's,
Yeah.
you know,
he takes that to
He's
the
a
nth
little.
degree.
He's almost
goes a
Moby
little
Dick.
far.
I mean,
It
Ferris
is.
Bueller is his.
He
his
breaks
white
into
whale.
a student's house.
Right.
Like,
okay,
Yeah, you're right.
like I say, he takes it to the extreme, but it starts
tries to
out,
poison the dog,
There's some weird beats in that movie that are so funny too. If you remember when he's walking into that whatever bar or whatever it is,
Right.
and he says, "What are you watching in like the baseball game?"
What's the score? Nothing. Who's winning? The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid.
But
And the
meanwhile,
dog
on the screen, you see Ferris Bueller at
Yeah.
that actual
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
That's
So
right,
he
that
Plainly
Ricky-
on
just
the
missing
screen.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, or something. I can't remember what baseball game.
The other thing
it was,
is,
but yeah.
he's pursuing Ferris Bueller, but Ferris Bueller has no idea that he's being pursued by him the entire movie. They only meet face to face at the very end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's the one close call with his dad.
He has
my-
two
and-
close calls with his dad. One at the restaurant.
Right.
Yep. And then
And
in
the
the
car.
car.
Actually, two at the restaurant. One in the bathroom.
One in the
out
taxi,
front.
yeah.
And then when he's running down the street going home.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good call.
But other than that, yeah, he is just living this carefree life throughout
Yeah.
the day.
And we have to talk about something that was kind of crazy. That he broke the fourth wall.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so
Yes.
genius.
Yeah.
The key to faking out the parents is the clammy hands. It's a good non-specific symptom. I'm a big believer in it.
It's so good. Yeah.
Deadpool copied it too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They kind of did that scene at the end
the
of
end.
Deadpool.
You're still here.
It's over. Go home.
He's
Yeah.
wearing the same bathrobe, doing the whole like,
Oh,
"Why are
that's
you
so
still
cool.
here?
Oh,
the
yeah,
movie's
yeah.
over."
The homage at the end, the after
Yep.
credit scene. But that's another thing too, is that this movie is ahead of its time. You know, now it's so common when we have these mid-credit scenes and then after credit scenes or whatever. You know, the Ferris Bueller ends with an entire long credit scene with Rooney
Yeah.
on the bus, and then there's
Yeah.
the after
With
credit
the
scene.
warm gummy bear.
Yeah,
Right.
they've been in my pocket all day, so they're soft and warm.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Yeah. And you know, little things that you forget about, like how many times, and I know for you, it's on your license plate,
Yeah.
is that we say Bueller.
Bueller.
Bueller. Bueller. Bueller. Bueller.
He's sick.
There's so many
Bueller.
iconic
Why do
things.
we all say it all the
Yeah.
time? But there's so many phrases that, you know, I'll dork out. He knows this. Fletch back in the day, I could probably name all of the one-liners in it. This is one of those ones where I'm in the same boat. Where
Yeah.
There's so many. I mean, when he calls up, when Ferris Bueller calls up for the dinner reservation.
Oh, Abe
Froman.
Abe Froman. Sausage King of Chicago.
You're Abe Froman.
That's right. I'm Abe Froman.
The Sausage King of Chicago.
Yeah, that's me.
And why are we not talking about Cameron?
He's my favorite part of the movie. And what's interesting about him, Alan, what's his name?
He's had a career.
Ruck?
Ruck, yeah, Alan Ruck.
He was 30 years old when he filmed this movie.
Shut up.
Yeah, he was like 30. Matthew Broderick was like 26.
Really?
So the only
I
person
didn't
that
know
was
all this.
closer to high school age was
Sloane.
Yeah,
Sloane.
Sloane.
Can we talk about for a minute?
Right?
Yeah.
I had I mean, you're right at puberty there, and I'm just going to call it out. I had the biggest crush on this girl. I was just
she's great.
in love with her. I still have been. She was in Time Cop later on. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
And Jean-Claude Van Damme makes loves to her, and I wished I was there.
She has a weird, I would say, although out of all the... Good.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Out of all the characters, though, I think she's the one that's kind of like the most underdeveloped.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Cameron's character is just so amazing. Just like that opening scene of him.
Cameron was in
like,
Egypt's land.
Yeah.
Let my Cameron go.
I love the scene where Cameron goes when Ferris Bueller says $20 says Cameron's in his car debating whether or not to even
Yeah.
And that scene with Cameron in the car, I think is one of the most brilliantly acted single moments.
It's great.
I'll go.
Keep calling me. He'll keep calling me until I come over. He'll make me feel guilty. This is ridiculous. Okay, I'll go.
He pounds the seat like
It's great.
The shot where
Oh
he
my
leaves
God.
the car, and then the shot where he's just through the car, where you see him jumping up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the back, yeah.
Yes.
And how much
so
Ferris kind of uses him.
Yeah.
You know, where he's like, but they're best friends, of course.
Cameron is playing, what's Sloane's father?
Yeah.
Is like, I want her out in front of the school by herself.
He smacks him.
He smacks him. No, I mean, I want the two of you together.
Use your brain. Where's your brain?
And he kicks him, and he is just so hurt.
Oh, yeah.
That Ferris would kick him. He's like, I'm done. I'm done with our friendship. I'm done with you. I'm tired because I'm tired of you treating me like crap. And then Ferris has this kind of real moment where he apologizes, but he doesn't really. He takes it all back.
He just manipulates it into getting the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And even the side stories in that movie, like I do love y'all picked this with the people that are the valet drivers.
Yeah.
They take the car. And just,
You just see like shots of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they use
With the Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
flying. Yeah.
With just happiness in their eyes. I love that.
Yeah.
God, that movie is really good.
There's so many and this goes back to I think the genius of John Hughes with the directing of it too. There's small little genre changes. Like there's the bit with Star Wars music when they're flying through the air, but also when the mom goes home to check on Ferris and it turns into like a brief horror movie. Yeah. They have this scary music as she's going up the steps and peeking in the door.
Suspense is so strong in that moment.
And if I may say, because you're, obviously you have so much art in your life, I do like a movie like this too, because I think this is where I found out about, is it pointillism?
Yeah.
With that beautiful
the whole
art
in the museum scene.
Seurat did the dots or whatever
Yes,
it is.
that's exactly right.
I remember watching this as a kid, and it kind of influenced me because they have such a kind of a pretty scene. And what
love
museum
that
are they
scene.
in? I
They're
don't
the
know.
museum, the Chicago Museum of Art, and that's that in and of itself, I think, is a beautiful montage scene
With the Smiths playing in the back.
Oh God, it's so
great.
good.
Really pretty. Yeah,
Such a
it's a
great
pretty
scene.
scene out of nowhere.
Yeah, we're talking about the pointillism. Yeah, it juxtaposes zooming in on that painting, and having it break down into just the series of dots of paint, and then it zooms in on Cameron's face. But of course, it doesn't break down in anything; it just gets closer on his face.
Yeah, no, I love
there's
it.
something really kind of innocent about that scene too that kind of sums up the movie. And this is like their last year, almost, school's almost ended now, they're going off to college and stuff, but there's the field trip that's going through the school of all the little kids holding hands,
that's right.
and then they're bringing up the rear holding the hands. I mean, it's just a really kind of beautiful,
It's innocent,
looking,
yeah.
very innocent.
In Chicago. They really captured. Give me a cough drop. They captured Chicago, I think, pretty well. I've never been. I've never been to Chicago.
Yeah, and then when you juxtapose the museum scene and the baseball scene, all the different kind of life experiences they had that day, you juxtapose that with any shots they showed of the school and the classes they're missing. Glasses are horrible.
That guy is drooling
Yeah.
on the table. And also,
In
I love
what
Oh my god.
way? In the prison bars.
Oh, and that is
the
Del
close-up
Close.
shots of the students in these classes.
Improv guru Del Close plays
my
the
God.
English teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that is.
Oh, that's right. He does. I've
That's
forgotten
amazing.
about that. And then
He
one
draws
we
the
have
prison bars with the word
Yeah.
prison.
Yeah.
And then the gym scene, I guess they are at, are they at the baseball games? Like,
Yeah.
do you realize that we would be in gym right now? And they just show the kids just like,
But the gym teacher's on like
Like
a
a little golf cart.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing we haven't even spoken about, which this movie I think is so great for, is you were talking about the charisma of Ferris, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's so cool that he could get into the parade and sing, where he makes.
It
all of
shows that if you
Chicago.
act like you know what you're doing, you can get like
It's-
anything
What was it?
done.
Shake me up, shake it
Yeah.
up, baby, and Donka Shane. I think he did.
That-
in there.
Yeah.
For an impressionable middle schooler, that's how old I was when I first saw it. That's what spoke to me the most was
Yeah.
this idea that the coolest cool is just confidence in who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he really had it in spades. Like every time he encountered any problem, he just doubled down.
Yeah.
And got his way through
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And improv wise, like I know we always talk improv or sketch because we're dorks with it, but when you say it's the heightening too of Jennifer Grey's experience of hating this liar that's
Right.
lying to everybody, but people are putting together a fund to save
Yeah.
Ferris, which their name like now band's name.
Yeah.
The way that snowballed throughout the movie.
Oh
too.
my
Like,
gosh.
The heightening.
So
it really did. Yeah, they
Yeah.
actually have it on
And
like
you're like,
this,
how the hell did this happen so fast? Like,
the sign at Wrigley Field as Save Ferris.
Yes.
did they reprint the newspapers this day? What's
Right.
going on?
Yeah. The dad's
So
reading the newspaper.
heightened.
Yeah.
And that Jennifer Grey finds love in jail with Charlie Sheen.
That scene too, some trivia on that. Charlie Sheen stayed up for 24 hours straight before he filmed that scene just to have that kind of washed out, pale, kind
Yeah.
of druggy look to him.
And then he kept doing it for another 30 years.
Yeah. Well, her character arc is so cool too because like she's so upset that Ferris is ditching school.
What did she say? Say his name and you lose a testicle.
Yeah. But I mean, she ditches school as well. I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone kind of spins out into their own kind of day off.
Yeah.
But in a weird way. Like
And the parents favored Ferris. We're like, he's the golden child in this family. That's the one that's the most liar. Like I said, he's got Eddie Haskell to him when
Yeah.
he talks to his parents. It's very, Mom and Dad, I love you. It's nothing. He's
You
liar.
have your
He's a
help.
liar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially at the end when he's back in bed and is like, just those weird kind of like, it's like
Yeah.
trying to like
It's
bite his
like
dad's finger.
disgustingly sweet.
Yeah.
The other thing too is that normally in high schools, like the popular kids, even though they're populars, they've gotten there like on the backs of others, or like they're bullies, or their friends are kind of bullies. But there's that scene where the one of the freshmen is calling him on the payphone to see how
bad is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he's helping me get out of summer school. So it's one of those things like he's beloved by the entire school because I think he legitimately is friends with
He crossed all the cliques.
And again, I hate to keep bringing it up, but she's like, I think she's my favorite. And I'd love to hear y'all's favorite part if we can. I know we're at the end, but for me, my favorite character in that is the secretary.
They think he's a righteous dude.
I don't know why this woman cracks me up when she's like, he's a righteous dude. And like dorks, dweebs, whatever. They all think he's great. Like, I love the way just her.
Yeah, she has this
John Hughes character actor that came in. And so she's in one other movie of his, and I can't remember which one it is. Is she the one that
she's
counter in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
I'm not
I
sure.
can't remember, but she's a good character actor. Yeah.
Oh,
she's the one that has her finger on the pulse of what's going on in the school because he's like, who's Ferris seeing? He's like, well, it's so hard to keep track these days, but I do see him, with that Sloan a lot.
Yeah.
My favorite character, as much as I idolized Ferris and still a huge fan of Ferris, I think I still come back to Cameron is probably my favorite because he is well-rounded and he actually has an arc in the movie.
He does.
Like,
he has
which
to
is
overcome his dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was intended that like Cameron is us.
Right.
Like we are Cameron and we idolize Ferris, but we're Cameron.
Right.
That's interesting. Yeah. Who's yours?
I mean, so my mom used to say that like I'm Ferris Bueller. That I'm very much like him. I wish I had that much confidence.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be cliche and say it's Ferris, and it is because he is the popular kid. He has this confidence, but he does clearly treat like his classmates right.
They
don't
He's
like.
a righteous dude.
They don't want to be friends with him because they're afraid of him. Like they want to be friends with him because he's actually helping them. And he's
they
a good
take up.
dude.
They're taking up collection form, like a Pepsi can that they're putting money in, just change and
What's
stuff.
yours?
I would say Cameron. I think Cameron speaks to me the most. I know he's not that. He's full of insecurities, which I'm not that insecure.
You should be.
You should be. I realize I am fully aware of all my flaws, and I've come to live with them. But I would say he would probably, in my high school years, because it did make me a little nostalgic. I watched it again last night. A little nostalgic for my high school years, which were decades ago. You're not that far behind me, so wow. I don't know why you're nodding, and smiling
I was just asking you. And again, the principal's hilarious. I mean, I like to throw it in there. And I like what you said about nostalgic. I couldn't believe when you said 85. Is that actually the right year?
It was filmed in 85. I think it came out in 86.
I was going to say, I felt like I was a little, I think that was right when I hit puberty, y'all.
Yeah. There's a scene in the parade. In the background, you can see there's a movie marquee, and you can see Teen Wolf 85 and Godzilla 85 are on that.
Oh, okay.
In the back. Yeah, it was filmed in 85.
Speaking of that parade scene, so they do Twist and Shout. Wait, no.
Donkey Shane and Twist and Shout.
Yeah.
So Paul, and they use the Beatles version of Twist and Shout.
Yeah.
But they put horns in, and Paul McCartney got really upset. He loved the movie.
Yeah.
He said, if we wanted horns in the song, we would have put horns in the song. And supposedly John Hughes got really upset about it. Not angry upset, is oh shit, I've offended a Beatle. He felt really bad about it.
Yeah. I was back. Was that before Michael Jackson owned all the songs?
Yeah, probably right around that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That was, you know what? That was the biggest nostalgia moment right at the beginning of the movie when he's fooled his parents and stuff, and he turns on the TV, and you have the MTV little ident, with a little 5-second thing. It's MTV,
right?
Yeah, and jumping in just because I know the two guests we have here are both artists. They do directing and acting very well for us. But I know, Brant, if I can speak for you, you're a big writer. Mm-hmm. This doesn't surprise me when we found out this is one of the ones you wanted to do in this, because it does have a farcical ending.
Right.
Yeah, you're a big farce guy.
Yeah,
he writes a lot of farce. He wrote That Sinking Feeling, which has a lot of things. It's a play around here that Brant did. But the running scene at the end, where it's all coming together, and the principal's finally going to show up, and the parents are coming home.
Yeah,
it's your perfect farce.
Oh yeah, I think
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And from a creative standpoint, I think it had a very. It was very influential for me, and the more I revisit it and watch it, I just see all the nuance and the layered aspects from the writing, the directing, the acting. It's a very, for a comedy, I think it's pretty dense. There's a lot of dynamic things happening throughout the movie that it keeps you on your toes as an audience member, and it's fun. It's just so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love the ending to the philosophy. It makes me think of you, Noëlle. It's like, if I'm right, doesn't he say sometimes you got to stop and smell? Is that how it ends?
It's if you don't stop and look around.
Yeah, life moves pretty fast.
Life moves pretty fast. Yeah,
I thought it was just cool because he kind of just gave his philosophy at the end. And I know that seeing your car and that you like this movie, I think this is kind of cool. It's like, hey, you gotta go do. It has a message.
Yeah. Did we call it out before we started taping or during?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, the jacket and the vest is.
It's straight up Ferris Bueller. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a replica.
Is it? Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we have a fan here. Yes.
Yeah. We were joking
before
we started filming that I should have gotten the Howie red rings. Jersey.
Oh yeah, the Cameron look.
Yeah, you should have had the pencils in the hair.
I was going to say you're more of a, because you're redheaded. You could have been the Jeffrey Jones. I would have been the. I'd be the secretary. Oh, you know what? I'll be Jennifer Grey.
You could be the principal.
No, we just called you with the red hair. The principal, Jeffrey Jones.
I want to be the secretary.
Grace!
There's something about it when he gets tough. Remember? Oh my goodness! You sounded like Dirty Harry.
Okay, so why should people, if they haven't seen it, why should people run out and check out Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
I'm gonna go back to what I just said, that it's fun, but also I think it still holds up really well, even though you made the comment about the cell phones and stuff. I don't feel like it's dated in the way other movies from the 80s are. Even the soundtrack was pretty indie for its time.
Oh, incredibly, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like it doesn't, and obviously the fashion and cars and things like that certainly dated within the 80s. But the story and the characters, I think, are more transcendent and just great.
Yeah, and I would say, I mean, John Hughes always had that kind of ear for dialogue.
Yeah.
It holds up well.
Oh, yeah.
There's not that much slang in it. You know, sometimes you'll watch a teen movie from the 80s and you're like, did people really talk like that? But yeah, this one I think it feels very, very timeless.
Yeah, I agree.
Noelle?
I mean, if you haven't seen it, like, why haven't you yet? But like,
why are you watching this 20-minute long video about a movie you've never seen?
That's a great point.
But like, what kid didn't want that amazing day off? Like, everybody dreamed of being able to take school off with that level of confidence and just have that day off. And like wondering what happens like after high school. I think we all went through that. They have that whole conversation by the poolside. Like what's going to happen? Like Sloane is, you know, she's in her junior year. She has another year. We're graduating. Like, what's going to happen?
And I love you said it. And like, honestly, I think y'all know who I am throughout my whole life. It was a big influence on me because of just taking the days off. I did this.
Yeah.
This is not something I emulated this. And this really was that influential on me as a young man to be the cut up.
Right.
You know, to be able to go do that. And it had a big effect on me. So did a lot of his movies. The Breakfast Club and a few other ones.
Yeah, we should probably do like a little John Hughes.
And there's ones I haven't seen. I haven't seen Home Alone.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
That's another one that I think holds up really well.
That's what I've heard. You know, we were talking about this once, and I know we're at time, but I made some younger people, you know, your age, watch Meatballs, the Bill Murray movie that was so influential to me as a child. That didn't hold up,
right?
Because you know they didn't go to summer camps. It was a little bit different feel, but I do love that. I think this movie does hold up.
Yeah,
you know, which is kind of nice.
So maybe Meatballs and Home Alone coming to a Nerds of Comedy episode near you.
Absolutely.
All right, for the Nerds of Comedy, this has been Ferris Bueller. Thank you very much to Brant and Noëlle.
It was a pleasure.
Welcome back, Brad.
I'm Tinkerbell.
Oh, that's right, Tinkerbell. I would say I've missed you.
I've missed you.
It's been a while since we've done one of these together.
I enjoy it, and I'll be honest with you, I just like the fact that I know I'm better than Hillary.
Well, I mean, you set the bar way low, but I mean, you do you.
I will tell you, I love doing this, and I love having to go back and watch these comedies. It's making me feel young again. Thank you.
My job is here is done then. For the Nerds of Comedy, I'm Sean.
I'm Tinkerbell.
And we will see you next week.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.